yesterday I was on the phone with one of my homies, and I was on her ass because a couple months back, I think in January, she told me that she was like thinking about starting to do YouTube videos. But she was mad shy. She didn't know. She was kind of scared of uploading. Right, so I was on her ass back then, telling her, oh man, don't worry about none of that shit. Just hit record, hit upload, right? So fast forward a couple months. We hadn't really been talking as much because we both been going through some shit, but we hopped on a call yesterday, and I was on her ass. I was like, yo, if you don't record this video, upload it, I'm gonna be on your ass every single day until you do. Like, literally, I'm gonna make sure you hate me. Because the thing is, it's way harder to do that first one. It's always harder to get started than to keep going. And physics teaches us this. Now, you may not be a nerd like me, but I'll break it down, all right? So in physics, we have friction. There's two types of friction. Static friction, which is how hard it is to get something moving. And then there's kinetic friction, which is how much resistance there is when the thing is moving, okay? Let me take a little deep breath. I gotta catch my breath. I was just walking up a hill. All right, so it's much harder to get something started. It's a lot harder to fight the static friction than to keep going when you're going against the kinetic friction. Think about when you're trying to move like a heavy ass box. It's on the ground and you're trying to push it. It's a lot harder to start pushing the box. It takes more force. It takes more momentum to begin pushing the box than when you already are moving. And then it's a lot easier. It's already sliding across the ground. It's exactly how life works. If you want to get started on something, it's going to be so difficult to get started. But once you start, it's going to be like, oh, okay, this actually isn't that bad. I think we all know what this is like. When I was in school, I used to like never do my homework, honestly. But occasional times I did. If I would be like just so hard coping, like, oh, I don't feel like it. I can't be bothered. It doesn't even mean anything. I already know everything in the class. Like, I'm not worried about nothing, right? But as soon as I just sat down and was like, okay, I'm just going to bust it out real quick, I got it done in like 5-10 minutes. It's like our brains are just so against us starting something because we don't see the outcome as what it truly is. There's a lot of neuroscience to support this, but we expect an outcome to be 2 times as worse as it's actually going to be, and we expect the reward from that outcome to be half as good as it's going to be. So we quite literally, the scenario in our head is usually 3.5 times worse than what's actually going to play out in reality. And that's why we just cope so hard. That's why it's so hard to just get started. But when you get started, you push against that static friction, and now you're moving. And once you get that momentum going over a long period of time, it's going to be smooth sailing. So yeah, getting started sucks. And honestly, it's very difficult to get started. But something that's helped me a lot is basically just knowing, one, that the scenario in my head is never going to be as bad as it truly is in real life. And that, 2, you just got to get started. I basically be like, oh man, I don't feel like doing this. And then I kind of catch myself and I'm like, oh, you just played yourself, Jaden. It's like, I be trying to like level up my discipline and my willpower. So if I don't feel like doing something or I want something and I know I shouldn't do it, I'd be like, nope. Or I'd be like, yep, I'm going to do it. Fuck it. Too bad. And it definitely takes a lot of time to get to that point, in my opinion. But if y'all got any other strategies for how you get over your coping and how you sit down to do the work, I'd actually love to hear that. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, my name is Jaden. You can call me Jay, you can call me JC, you can call me Dubs. I'm here to help people live more authentically and live more purposeful and beautiful lives. If that sounds good to you, drop a sub. You already typed in tomorrow's vid. Dubs out!